Ogun and Obatala for another day to bask in the goodness of Onile's sacred earth. Every day given is very special, and here are a few details, cosmic details, pertaining to how. I'm Ayansa JT Muse, and this is your early rising or your evening settling mystic forecast. Love and light to everyone, and I hope everyone's having a fabulous Tuesday evening. I'm Mayasa J Muse, and it's a little bit past 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, and that means that it's time for your nightly mystic forecast. So, first things first, Ekule, that's Yoruba for good evening. Adupoyo to your Ori first, to your ancestors, and to your spirit guides for leading you here tonight. So let's recap tonight before we see tomorrow into today. And as always, I am Ayansa JT Muse, the sole creator of 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio, and respectively called as the Black Madonna of the airwaves, preserving this old school music for you, mixing it with the mystic fusions of esoteric teachings. So we're going to recap tonight to see into today. But before that, let's just take a few minutes to talk about all the places I'm broadcasting from right now, because we are in the tech runs of running the visuals now. So the last run of the forecast, I had a little partition up because I felt some kind of way about being on camera, but now I'm kind of getting used to that. So bear with me here. We are broadcasting live from my YouTube channel, so if you haven't already, please subscribe so that you can catch your nightly mystic forecast as well as all kinds of creative videos that tell true stories and teach real lessons of my divine and mystic journey. I am broadcasting from all 7 of my daily Facebook pages dedicated to the Daily Orisha. But the Tuesdaily Day page is the Peridot Potus, the one that's in all green, because green in this region is the color that venerates the Orisha Ogun. And some parts of Africa, it is blue. But over here, it's green. Not to mention that Tuesday, biblically, is the day that the land was separated from the sea. So the green separates and celebrates all the lushness of the earth, the riches of vegetation, and everything green that's valuable that's not pertaining to money. I'm also broadcasting from my mothership Facebook page, also my personal Allianza JT Muse page, and I squeezed in my Instagram Live. So my Instagram Live gets to see all the trash I talk and all the bloopers and tea sipping and all of that while I'm in between breaks. So let's get into Tuesday. Day 2 of the week, the day that vegetation came onto the land in many forms and traditions of Orisha culture. Ogun rules this day. And who walks side by side with him? Ochosi. And what domain do they live in? The woods, the earth, the heart of Onile, or the spirit of Mother Earth's secrets. Genesis confirms this, and so does Ifa Orisha tradition, Ibashe Ojo Ishegun. That's Tuesday in the Yoruba tongue, and what that represents is the day of victory. And that goes hand in hand with Tuesday's planetary ruler, Mars. Why? Because Mars is the divine masculine planet of driving force in action. It drops the E in emotion and just leaves motion. So that forward drive gives you what you need to obtain your victories. Had you checked their emotions the night before? Who is Ogun? Ogun is the emissary of Olodumare. That represents the tools, the roads, removing blockage, and matters that deal with the heart. Tuesdays are days where Aries and Scorpios tend to do the most because it is their ruling planet. So if you have Aries and Scorpio people in your life, give them a little extra room to flourish on Tuesday because they're a whole lot more likely to do the most. So that's what I have on you for Tuesday in general. Those of you that are listening over the mothership's airwaves, you're also listening to this smooth and sultry voice of mine over the sounds of Cool in the Game, Summer Madness. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break. And when I come back, we're going to get more into the ruminations of this particular Tuesday. So we talked about Tuesday in general. Now we're going to talk about what's so special about the Tuesday that came today. I'm Ayansa J. Muse, and you are watching your nightly Mystic Green Vegetations, Plant Magic, Ibashe Ogun, Ibashe Onile, Ibashe Ochosi, Heart Chakra, Jazz, Voices of the Fathers, Mars. Welcome to Tuesdays on the Mothership, 222.9. Beam up. Did you enjoy the work and greenery wisdom? I painted this one green for you. Listen. Ojo Esegun Nunde Tuesday, the sun is high, lush. But concrete city life has Mars in overdrive. I bring the elixir, the medicine, the poultice, from equinox to solstice, viridescent like the essence of the heart's house, you'll notice. A cool breeze for green firestones, parados relax in the heart of my clearing. So here you go. Sip with delight. And I answer J. Muse, short poem. 16 years ago to this date, 2021, my radio journey had just begun. And my first radio show was titled The Bamboo Lounge.
Yeah, I'm laying low with Ivory T in the Bamboo Lounge. This is Andre 3000, one half of Outkast. We love y'all. Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Felton Pilot, and you're here with me inside the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
All right, well, I'm here. Are you there? Good. We are now meeting in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T. As always, it's your boy, Cat Williams.
Yo, what it do, man? It's your boy, Flipper, man. Right now, I'm inside the Bamboo Lounge with sexy Ivory T. And I mean sexy. Already.
Hey, this is Marcus Johnson, and you're listening to Ivory T and the Bamboo Lounge.
Hi, this is Yolanda Adams, and you're chilling in the Bamboo Lounge with Ivory T.
This is Ivory T, the smooth operator, your host with the most, and you're listening to the Bamboo Lounge Workdays. 16 years later, I bring my first Cosmic Jam session full circle. So join me on weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time for the return of the Bamboo Lounge, Planet Soul. The Bamboo Lounge features classic, old school, throwback, independent tunes of many genres, new rotations all designed to enhance your space, be it your home, be it your office, your car, or your earbuds and your smartphones on the go. So join me on the Bamboo Lounge Planet Soul from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves, 222.9, The Mothership. Beam up. And we're back. So in case you're just now joining us, I'm Ayansa JT Muse, the mother of the mothership, and you are getting your nightly mystic forecast, recapping your Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. Golly, time is flying. Headed into tomorrow, which I respectively title Oya's Climax, but I'll get to that in a minute. So today, actions in infinite. The daily numerology was the number 8. And in Orisha tradition, that's the number sacred to Obatala. By today being the day ruled by the Orisha Ogun, forward drive and humility walked hand in hand today. So if you felt both forces of that energy, make sure you give thanks to Ogun and Obatala, those of you that practice Ifa Orisha tradition. Anyone else? Just keep a good understanding between the balance between patience and humility while you're in forward drive and manifesting your desires. Because a lot of the times, especially during Gemini season, we deal a lot with duality. And what duality is there to do is bring balance, as one is not supposed to eliminate the other. The spirit self is there to make sure that the ego self does not get too out of control and turn your human experience into being a flat out savage. However, your ego self is there to ensure that your spirit self doesn't get trampled on. So, as we deal in this third decan of Gemini season, keep an eye on your dualities. It's the third Tuesday of Gemini season, and that's house 3, third Tuesday. So, there's a lot of Eshu energy in there with those threes. And Eshu is simply the keeper of the choices. It's the 12th Tuesday of spring equinox. As spring equinox is coming to an end, things are heating up. Summer is right around the corner, and that solstice is going to be one of massive manifestations. Are you ready? And if not, I'm here to help you get ready. So make sure you tune in each and every night for the forecast. Better yet, just beam up to 222.9 the mothership 24/7 internet radio to get your old school grooves infused with planetary alignment and mystic teaching. So you got about 2 hours and some change to make the most of tonight's waning moon. The moon is waning in the second house of Taurus. So day 2 of the week, house 2 in the zodiac, there's an alignment right there. When the moon is waning, it's a good time to banish. It's a good time to banish away from everything that's keeping you from the intentions you made on the new moon. There will be classes and things like that available in the future, but right now I'm just giving you this free wisdom and beaming you up to the mothership. So you want to banish everything that works against your values, as Zodiac House 2 Taurus deals with your values. What means something to you and why? So as you go forth in your materialistic manifestations, make sure that they are connected to your highest divine purpose. And tonight's waning moon is here to assist you in banishing things that keep you from your highest values, manifestations, things of that nature. In the African way of the stars, we are in the season of the ancestor. So if you have not poured libations to your ancestors, you might want to give that a go. Why? Because your ancestors are your first line of spiritual defense, and they are the beings that are your true guardian angels. They are the only spiritual beings with a 100% invested interest in making sure you reach your highest destiny. Because when you do your best, they survive and thrive on a whole other level. I'm going to take another quick break, and when I come back, we're going to talk about the planets that are in retrograde and more about the dualities of Gemini season. I am Mayantha J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic forecast on 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio. Beam up. Tutuori egun, tutuori egun, tutuori egun, ashe, ashe, ashe ho. One of the greatest ways to honor our ancestors is to simply remember them, to embed their legacy in the forefronts of our minds, to engrave their names on our hearts while feeding our children the alkalinity of their wisdom, to learn from their mistakes while continuing to lay the bricks on the roads they have paved for us. With that said, Join me at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to celebrate, explore cosmic insight, and highlight the endless achievements of our ancestors who spent their lives doing remarkable things and making remarkable contributions to humanity. In gratitude, we pour libations over the airwaves. 222.9, the mothership. Beam up. May 13th. Blank face, soapstone, my throne, no clones, dripping lyrical honey from my beehive drones or wasp nest. At the behest of my ego, I go, you'll know. Soon enough. The original rapper, your first hip-hop artist, was the ancient African warrior who told his stories of triumph or defeat over a drum beat. Ever wondered why rappers always say, "Give me a beat"? Well, that beat is the sacred baton of the heart. And what does rap even stand for anyway? Rhythm and poetry. So why not experience it in its raw form? You know, the open style, blaze the mic, spit the bars, poetic gospel. Oh yes. So if you aren't afraid, then join us at 6 p.m. for Rhyme, the Underground Gospel. That's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, that is, for an hour of straight bars from everyday people. And who knows, you may hear a few of Mama's rhymes. Only on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves, 222.9, the mothership. Beam up. And we're back. Thank you for hanging in here with me as I do these test runs on the forecast, which is the marquee podcast of 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio. This is the show that's going to pull the whole 24 hours together. So this is where you get to see me for an hour, but if you want more of this, you're going to have to tune in. I'm available 24 hours, just not on video. Got a lot to say, but can't sit in front of a camera all day. And not to mention, I'm a lady that prefers to be heard more than seen. And that lady is me. I am Mayansa J. Muse, the sole creator of 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio and the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the magic, and the mojo on your Ogun ruled, Mars venerated Tuesday, June 13th. And if today is your solar return, I got a little dry snitching to do on you. You are impulsive, energetic, and argumentative, and put more faith in your intuition than in your judgment. You are a good and loyal friend and a very bad enemy. You are demonstrative with love, and your happiness in love depends on receiving as much as you give. So if tonight is your solar return, may the Most High Olodumare, the Orisha, Ifa, and the ancestors and Orishas bless you with many, many more. Those of you that are in the remaining 11 houses, make sure you show the Geminis in your world some love, because they're only here to teach you about your dualities, baby, because we all have them. Geminis are just bold enough to skip to my loo with them in the broad daylight. That's right. We are in the third decan of Gemini season, which means if you were born on this day, sorry to be the one to break it to you, but you are not 100% Gemini. You are actually one half Aquarius, meaning there are 3 planets on your head: Saturn, Uranus, and Mercury. Mercury's the strongest, though. And Mercury is the messenger of the gods as named by Rome. But in the more primordial order that we call Ifa or Risha tradition, his name is Eshu. And the Kemetic way of the stars, we are in the season of Set. More on that later. But let's talk about some of these planets that's going on here. As we speak, the planet of regeneration, another derivative, a higher derivative of Ogun, Pluto, is in retrograde. It went into retrograde on May 1st and will come out of retrograde on the day of my Orisha solar return. That's October 11th, 2023. Pluto is in retrograde until that date, so mark your calendars. While Pluto is in retrograde, a lot of focus is being put on regeneration. What old cycles need to end in order for new ones to begin. Embrace your transformation. Pay close attention to your taboos. This is the most subtle of all retrogrades, but in the eyes of the spirit world, what is subtle is actually more powerful. What's large is small, and what's small is large. So let those subtleties come to the forefront of your mind so you can iron out those kinks and embrace that transformation. And transformation, of course, is Oya's middle name. So, gonna let you stew on that for a minute, my sweets. And when I come back, we are going to discuss tomorrow, Wednesday, the climax of the week, brought to you by none other than the Orisha Oya. I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and this is your nightly mystic. Oh, yes. It's about that time. When the hour is good and late, when solitude may not be such a good thing, it's time to go deeper inside the many visions of what love looks like. The most powerful force of it all, love, the spark that makes life worth living. Love, that thing we all want and need. Love, one potent drop will send you to your knees. Love, we try to make rules where there aren't any. Love, I could go on and on forever, like we want our love to last. Love, it takes all and quarantines nothing. Love, so addictive in its many forms. Love, high, low, above, over, under the norm. Oh, don't be shy, 'cause somewhere down the line, we're all about that life. So join me on weeknights at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time for a love-filled, lovely musical wind-down, a deeper look inside what love looks like. Slow jams, blue lights in the basement kind of love, the kind that creates generations. Only on your mystic musical haven on the airwaves, 222.9, the mothership. Beam up. Did you enjoy the work and greenery wisdom of the Paradopotis? Well, I hope you did, because now it's time to take to the skies on my Wednesdaily blog, the Malbec Planetarium. That's www.poeticallymuse.org/Malbec Planetarium. That's POETICALLYMUSED.org/MALBECPlanetarium. Bet you won't join me there tomorrow to learn a few secrets of the quasars. Ashe. And we are back. In case you are just now joining us, I'm Mayansa J. Muse, and we are having your nightly mystic forecast going from Tuesday, lost my thought for a second, Actions in Infinite, going into Oya's climax number 13. And it's a double scoop. Oya's going to be really, really strong tomorrow, as it's Wednesday, her ruling day. The daily numerology lands on a 9. So that's a double scoop of Oya energy. That's a very good day to maybe pay that cemetery gate a visit if you need some changes for the Orisha Oya. And I am one of her human representatives. That's right, baby. Ayansa J. Muse is the name. I am the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music and the mojo and the mystic information. This is the 13th Wednesday of spring equinox and the last Wednesday of spring equinox and Gemini season, hence the name Oya's climax number 13. So that's where that energy is aligned. We are still in the third decan of Gemini season. And as Pluto is retrograding and Oya is bringing changes, this is a good time to make an offering to Oya, to perhaps ask her to help you embrace your transformation with love, with joy, and with glee. Because the thing to know about Oya is that Oya never destroys anything that isn't in the way of something better. So keep that in mind. The moon will still be waning in the female ruled house of Taurus, headed into Gemini. So banish all that keeps you from being open to receive, because the planetary alignments change on tomorrow. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's higher octave is Uranus. So there's a lot of ASU energy that they're at play as well. There's two planets on Wednesday, and maybe that's why it's a climax. This is a good time to heal feminine relationships when the moon is waning in Taurus. So, is there a woman somewhere, a family member, an old girlfriend, a home girl, or any of those things that you may owe an apology? You may need to patch some things up. Well, tomorrow night would be a good night to do that because it's a female ruled day in a female ruled house. So, there's your heads up for Wednesday. Going to take another quick break. When you tune in to the Mothership on tomorrow, you will be joining me for the exotic mothers of song. See, Monday brought you the mothers like Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, Nancy Wilson, the mothers of music. And Wednesday is still the mothers, but it's the more exotic mothers. You know, the ones like Anita Baker, Sade, Nina Simone, Tracy Chapman. I'll let you see for yourself for those of you who are watching. Take a look, and when we come back, we're going to do your nightly tarot draw. Ashe. Wednesdays, Mercury, Uranus, purples. Ibashe Oya, Ibashe Nanaburuku. Maroons, exotic voices of the mothers. Welcome to Wednesdays on the Mothership. 222.9. Beam up. Letters, numbers, paths, revelations, spell names, spiritual names. Math, the universal language. Arithmancy, or numerology readings by Ayansa J.T. Muse. Brought to you by the Mothership Mystic Boutique. If you're hearing this over Mothership airwaves, then please visit the 222.9 The Mothership Facebook page for the links to schedule your appointment. If you're seeing this online, simply click the link in the description box below the video to schedule your numerology appointment. Ashe. Before sight, before sight of shells, there were stanzas, stanzas of my soliloquies. Before sight of wisdom, before sight of worship, there was only my written word, Afoshe. Before sight of divination, before sight of Dafa, there were diaries, diaries in dozens. Before sight of revelation, before sight of reason, there were only my rhapsodomancies of rhyme, rearranged to rhythms of my lipstick-kissed alchemy, alchemies of my depths, my valleys, my mountains, my visions, my empathies, my testimonies, my joys, my sorrows, my love. Before sight of awakening, before sight of airwaves, before sight of anointing, there were archives of my allegories. Before sight of clarity, before sight of conversion and clergy call, there were collections of my ink prints. Before sight of prophecy, before sight of priestesshood, there was poetry, poetries that bear my fruit. There was me. And we're back. Look at that. I'm not on camera now. My tarot decks are. So this is where those who are watching from the videos are getting more of an advantage than those that are listening on the airwaves. I'm Mayantha J. Muse. This is your nightly mystic forecast, and we're getting to your nightly tarot draw. So I'm going to start with the card from tonight before we get into Wednesday's tarot message. So Tuesdayly, I have a comedic tarot deck that I like to use just to give my general messages and, of course, to make the most of all that I've been given. So tonight, we drew the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles represents coins, money, material wealth, and that's aligned with tonight's waning moon in Taurus, which is the house of values. The issue is that this card showed up upside down. Hang on, let me fix these to where y'all can see them the way I see them. Okay, so when pentagrams show up inverted, it's a warning against the carnal, fleshly ego self. Okay? And what this card came to warn us about with actions in infinite is to be mindful that we keep our agendas balanced, meaning there's nothing wrong with wanting material gain. I mean, ain't no money like God money, baby, because God money is guilt free. But it's important that you keep your one head above instead of the two heads, because when pentagrams show up inverted, they like to call that demonic. I just call it severely imbalanced because all of us have a fleshly side and all of us have a spirit side. So, with Obatala and Ogun walking side by side in the energy of this day, this was just a reminder to gain things in alignment with divine balance and the universal whole. Which leads on over to tonight's tarot card, which is from the Mayan Oracle. Let me show my Instagram account tonight's card, the Five of Pentacles, so that you guys won't be left out of anything. And tonight's card is Manique from the Mayan Oracle. But this one showed up right side up, and it is a star glyph. And what's a star glyph? A star glyph is one of the head cards or one of the major arcanes in this deck. This tarot deck only has 3 suits: star glyphs, lenses, and numbers. And Manique deals with the energy of the doorway. I love how it represents the animal, the deer. Why? Because the deer is sacred to the Orisha Ogun. Its blue hues represent tsunamis to come, meaning all storms in life that come are not bad things. Some things come into your life to cleanse you of all that you're destined to lose in order to create space to gain. And when this card shows up, you are standing in the precipice of a higher level of yourself. Allow yourself to walk through that door because all initiations aren't formal ceremonies. Some initiations are just simply stepping into a new way of life. And as Oya brings these changes, she invites you to be open to the possibilities of what can come when everything is new again. Sandalwood is a good scent to burn and meditate on this tarot message. And as the moon wanes tonight, while Pluto is in retrograde, all of these energies are working together to allow you space and time to transform to your higher level of being. So I'm going to let you marinate on that. And when I come back, we're going to wrap up tonight's forecast. Ashe. A question on the heart is the spirit's thirst for clarity. Readings, consultations, I call them intuitive counseling sessions, but you know what I mean. They're kind of like gumbo or peach cobbler. You may have tried many, but you haven't had mine. I can say I met the divine when I was about 9. Ever since I was 16, I found myself wondering, do I have an invisible "please come tell me your business" sign taped to my forehead? Then one day I was sitting at the bus stop at a crossroad, and I had the audacity to ask the goddess, why was I even sent to earth? And I became an ethereal, intuitive counselor. And the universe has been answering that question over and over again, one phone call at a time, for the last 9 years. From there, in between sessions, I began to relentlessly apply, align, and study the ways of the stars and of the ancients. 3 years in, Orisha priestesshood to Oya came knocking. Hence the Iya in the name Iyansa J, Iyansa, an Oya praise name. Oya is the Orisha who brings radical transformation and change. Make no mistake about it now, baby. I am no soothsayer. I am no fortune teller. I'm not a private investigator. I don't cast love spells. I'm not an emotional punching bag. I'm not a spiritual trash dump. I am not a haven for jinn spirits. I give guidance with clarity, with wisdom, with love, with truth. I unlock keys to your spiritual growth and your highest destiny according to your unique design. Ready for some evolutionary change? Let's talk. Thank you for joining me for tonight's forecast. I really hope you all enjoyed it and got a lot of cosmic information that could help enhance your day tomorrow. As always, I will be available tomorrow for personal readings between 2 and 7:30 p.m. That link is on my link tree that I put in the comment section. If you're feeling generous and want to support 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio, there are membership levels, and I just dropped my Cash App as well if you just want to drop a donation. Before we close tonight, I want to play you a song that played today at 2:22 p.m. and I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs in the world. And I thought about this song when I read some news today about the skies turning orange and things like that. Bridges leading to New York falling down and things like that. And this is an old cut that still rings true to this day. War, the essence of Ogun. The world is a ghetto. Thank you for joining me for tonight's forecast. Remember, the sky is big enough for us all to be stars. And in the words of our wise elder George Clinton, free your mind. Your ass will follow. I'm Mayantha J. Muse, and this is the forecast. Stay tuned for 2 hours of love jams, divine masculine style, and my vision of what love looks like. This is 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio. Beam up. Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves, 222.9, The Mothership. Beam up.